Okay. So welcome everybody again to From Life to Paper, how to showcase your achievements in a CV. I see some familiar faces, so hi to everybody. For the ones who know me, I'm Celia. For the ones who don't, I'm Celia de las Cuevas. I work at EucA's communication officer. And well, we are here now because we are launching our career counseling project with webinars, CV checks, and this is one of the webinars. So first of all, thank you to, on behalf of EucA, to all the attendees, and of course to our great speakers today, Ebony and Cristina. I will introduce them to you. Ebony, she is Director of Career Services at Franklin. She has experience at student affairs, student development, and career counseling, and she has worked at Miami University, University of California, and finally, at the moment, at Franklin University, Switzerland. Cristina, she's Assistant Director of University Housing at Franklin University, Switzerland. She's a Spanish young professional living now for 8 years in Switzerland. She studied journalism and has experience in the press and hotel industry. And for the last 5 years, she has worked at Franklin in student affairs. She is studying at the moment a master's degree in international management and climate action, if I'm correct. So what is going to be the webinar about? The webinar in this webinar, you will learn how to, of course, as the title says, to showcase your achievements in a CV, which is basically how to put down everything you have done in your life in a CV in a way that is attractive to recruiters using the master list method or the master list tool. You will learn now a bit more about it. So the structure of the webinar is going to be the following. First of all, you will have a theory part, very brief. It's going to be Ebony in charge of it. So she will explain to you what a master list is. Then we will go for a Kahoot quiz where you will test yourself and check if you have understand correctly everything Ebony has explained. And then we will go into the workshop where you will be divided into teams. Cristina will explain later better than me for sure, but you will be divided into teams and you will have to work with real examples. You will be given a task, then you will be back and Cristina will give you a second task, and then we will explain it. We will show the results to all of us. So, and at the end, of course, you will have the questions and answers section. So, some tips for you to enjoy the webinar as much as possible. Each time you have a question, you can write it down in the chat. You will see it down. So, and at the end, we will pick some of them. Cristina and Ebony will answer them. For the non-answered, you will receive an email with the answers from Cristina and Ebony, so don't worry. And of course, you are invited to open your camera, to activate your camera. This is an interactive webinar, as we said. It's going to be very intimate, and we want you to have fun above all. So that's it. Take paper and note, because you're going to learn a lot, and also me. We're going to learn a lot in this webinar, and I give now the floor to Ebony. Thank you all once again.
Hello, everyone. We will go ahead and get started. I need to share a screen. All right, are you ready? From life to paper, how to showcase your achievements in a CV. So, we'll be discussing the master list. Why is it important? What are the areas in the master list you need? And the resources. During this time, especially right now, you need to create a master list of your life, pretty much. And you can hold on to it and you can keep it for many, many years, because you may have different experiences that'll be important to you that you may forget about. And so having a master list will definitely help you. So as I've explained why, it's like having a major, huge list of everything from high school, from achievements, from all of this, and it needs to be on your resume. So when you are applying for a job, you can decide what can go on the main resume that you're going to be applying for that job. Pretty much, you will be doing one resume for each job that you apply for. With all the competition that's going to be out there, you need to be specific and you need to identify yourself. How can you be different from everybody else? So you need to give 1,000% in yourself of how you can be different and special and have them choose you. So on this master list, there's a lot of important information. And I think a lot of times people forget and people assume that we know what you've been doing. So just to kind of start off, we need to make sure that you have the name of the organization, the company, title of the position, location, and dates. I'll give an example. I had a student say, yes, I did something in Paris. And I'm like, well, Paris what? And I said, it could be Paris, Kentucky. It could be Paris, Switzerland. So you have to kind of be specific so we can understand what you've done. Your education. So I believe between the ages of 16 to 24 or even 16 to 24, 25, your education is very important and actually should be at the top of your resume, but that is up to you, especially if it's something special, especially if you've done extremely well and you have a really good GPA, or if you've been on Dean's List, it's good to see that. Or you may be from a different location and you're applying for a job in your hometown and they say, oh, so you go to school in Belgium. Tell me about that. And so it's really good to make sure you have all that information on there. Your work and leadership experience is, I would say, the main meat of your resume or your master list. Now, this is where we want you to really focus on this master list because you've done so many wonderful things. You need to remind yourself what you've done. Now, between the ages of 18 and 24, y'all have pretty much done the same thing. And so, how can you differentiate? That's a hard word for me. From yourself from others, right? So, how do you do that? And so, you think about if you were a camp counselor, what was those experiences? What did you experience different from somebody else? How many different types of students did you work with? Where were they from? Did you have any challenges? Did you learn something? Did you grow? Did you fail at something in that? All of that is important information. If you worked for the embassy last summer, that's important information, but what makes you special from everybody else who had that same position? How do you stand aside and see, like, I'm amazing? So, to really make sure you are putting all that information down. So, when you're applying for a job, you can see that you have all these transitional skills. Everything you do is important, from scooping ice cream, for working for a police department, for working for an embassy, working for the government, or even working at the bar. Those take a lot of skills, people skills, customer service, and you have to understand everything you do is important. Also, volunteer and community service. A lot of times people take that for granted and you forget that you worked in the soup kitchen and you forget to put that down. But what did you do when you worked in the soup kitchen? Did you like help people? Did you make good connections? Did you make a rapport? Did you help some of these people? These are all important things that you should be putting down on your master list. You should have at least 10 bullets that are something about you, something about the skills you've done, and making sure you've done verbs, action verbs, expressing what you've done. And remember, when it's a present job, it's in present tense. And when you've done a position in the past, it's past tense. And normally, all of your jobs should be most recent to less recent. Certifications and licenses. Also important. Don't take that for granted for what you've done. Having a driver's license Not everybody has one, so that's important. And then, can you drive a bus? Can you drive a truck? You are important. So thinking about that. Certifications for EMT, certifications for a bar license, skydiving, snorkeling. All these sound crazy, but these are important things because these are special skills that a lot of people don't have. And then I had one student who learned how to fly a helicopter, and I said, make sure you have that down because that can also have an interesting conversation. And this master list kind of reminds you like all the things you've done. So when you kind of get sad and you feel like I can't find a job, your list will remind you of everything that you've done. Honors and awards, make sure you list that. I feel if you are between the ages of 18 and 20, anything less than 16 is probably that's the farthest you should go. If you don't have anything, 18 to 24, like put all your high awards on there. Just list it all. All right, so skills, and I'm going to show you a couple of web pages in a few minutes of where you can kind of think about how you are, what makes you special, and your transitional skills, and make sure that you put your languages. And also going back to certifications like Adobe and computer skills and technology. Those are also very important because everybody knows how to do Word, Excel. So, take it to the next level. Your projects, courses, and study abroad. That's also important to have on your master list. If you've done something very special, but it wasn't really considered, a task or something that you got paid for or volunteered for, put it down. Put down your entrepreneurship that you've done as well. I mean, that is important. Courses that you feel that you're applying for in your field to kind of remind you what you've taken, you will forget. So if that is needed, just make sure you have that down. And study abroad is always important. They always like to see that you've done different things. Clubs and organizations, once again, I think a lot of times people take that for granted. Make sure you have all of that down, all the organizations that you've done. It's important to see how you're involved in the community and that you enjoy being a part and working with people. Your blogs and podcasts, those are very important if you're doing that because then they can see that when you need to be applying for jobs, you will remember, like, I totally forgot I had that blog, or yes, I did do that podcast. And then going to conferences, if you've done presentations, all that should be on your master list because then when you need to, you can put that on your resume, and which will show you how to do. And then permit status and passports. So sometimes you may forget the permits that you have and then your passports, because sometimes it's good to see that you have dual passport or one passport, but just to kind of know what you have. So that means that also sets you apart because that means that makes it easier to be hired compared to other people. And those are, for me, some of the important areas that you need to have on your master list when you're starting to think about what I should put on my resume. So as long as you have this key information, I think you're good to go. Resources. I try to make it exciting. Calm down, calm down. All right, so just a few of my favorite resources. We have unnetonline.org. I will show all this to you in a second. 185 powerful verbs. A lot of times when we're describing what we've done, when you say I oversaw and then you see oversaw like 5 times, it gives you different examples. I think this is one of my favorite resources. The Balanced Careers is another website I'm going to show you really quickly, and then the Resume Genius. There's tons of different resources, but these are the 4 things I really feel that can help your master list when you're describing yourself. So I am going to do a new share to show you these different websites. Now, when you're looking in the Celia, can you see ONET Online? Can you, Celia, can you see it? Okay. All right, so I put down resident advisor, and then I'll click it up. And then it'll show you all the tasks of this job. Now, going back to the bullets again, when you're describing your position, a lot of times you forget what you've done. I wouldn't copy verbatim, but I would definitely paraphrase what you've done as an RA. And this is great assistance. I mean, they have every job that you can possibly think of in here that can help you describe your jobs right now. And that's what we're going to help you with as well later on with Cristina. The other website that I was referring to is the 185 powerful verbs that will make your resume a sommet. And here's an example. You led a project, and then it shows you 12 examples that you can use to help better create the details of your resume. And then say you envisioned and brought a project to life. And here, I mean, it's just amazing. It's 185 verbs, and you will get this information after we finish. The other website is going to the Balanced Careers, and these are the top soft skills employers value with examples. So this is also another wonderful website to help you when you're trying to think, who am I? Because a lot of times people say the same thing, team building, organized, stuff like this, but then it takes it to the next level. But also step outside your comfort zone and really kind of think, are you tenacious? Are you persistent? And then you can explain why you're saying these things, because you are trying to set yourself aside. So when you have this master list, you have as many words that can describe you. All right. And then we have action verbs that are really good for you as well. And it just kind of gives you everything you need. This is like amazingness. So I hope you will use this information when you're thinking about creating your master list, because you already have it. You just need to expand upon it. So now I am going to stop sharing and go back to my presentation. And Cristina is next. And thank you.
Now we're gonna test if you have like really understood what this thing of the master list is. And that's it. We're gonna go for a Kahoot quiz. Now you will need to get into the webpage and introduce a number. I will share my screen as well. Briefly, what you will see two options. You will need to pick one or two according to the question you are being asked. And that's it. One will be the red one. It will be in the left side of your screen, and the blue one in the red side, but I will explain to you now. Okay, good luck. Okay, so okay, let's go to the next one. Congrats. Okay, let's go to the third one. Okay, it's changing now. Okay, third question. How would you describe your involvement in a university, college, or residence hall? Okay, well, wow, François. Let's go to the next one. Which is the best volunteering description? Paragraph versus bullet list. Wow, this is a bit less balanced. And there we go. Last one. Multi-select. Which description of a summer job is more informative? Okay. So let's check the results. The winner is François. Congratulations. Second one is Sora. No, not the winner, the third one. Second, the first is Mark Yura. Congratulations. So if you want to say some words, and I'm not kidding, you can go ahead, feel free. Okay, so now is the moment. If you have some questions regarding the game and the issues we have touched, Ebony and Cristina will answer them quickly. We will go on them. So you can just unmute yourself, activate your camera, and please don't be shy. Okay. Okay. So
Not Celia, I just wanted to say this game was not just to have fun, it was to show how to describe properly the every job that you are doing, and how to describe them on the master's list, because you are going to do that later on. So it was a good exercise to get on ideas on how to write well the description of your job, and how you can use that for your resume. So that was, I don't know if you paid attention to what you were reading, but I hope you did, because then that will help you on your next activity.
Thank you, Cristina. So I will now say that we can move into the next part of the webinar, which is actually the workshop.
Celia, Raya asked a question, and I think Ebony would respond to this question very well. Is what should be the maximum size of a CV?
So the maximum size goes both ways. If you are, say, 21, 22, it can be up to 2 pages or 1 page. Now, normally, if they say 1 page, give them 1 page. Don't be adventurous and say, oh, they want to know everything about me. No, they really want 1 page. If they see 2 pages, they will check it. So really kind of pay attention to what they're looking for. But if they're not asking for a length, you can go up to 2 pages for your CV.
And the master list can be as long as you need to be, and then you trim from it to the resume.
Okay.
Thank you, Francois, for coming. You're pretty much on the ball, so I think you're set. So, thank you.
Great. So now, Cristina, as I told you, we're going to go with the workshop. I'm going to give the floor to Cristina. It's going to be interactive. So again, you are all encouraged to share your screen or to unmute yourself if you don't want to share your faces. But remember, we are all humans, and it's okay if you don't look perfect today. It's totally okay. So that's it. I give the floor to Cristina and have fun.
So, hello. So the next activity, we are going to split you into groups, and you are going to work describing different job positions that we have put for you. That could be could be things that a young person has done. It's not necessarily something that you have done. I look at your majors, and some of you have masters. So I look at those, and I put some positions that could resemble an internship that you could do on your major to some of you, but then we put many different summer jobs or just regular jobs outside of your university, and volunteer and university positions that you could have either in your residence hall or in your university. And what I'm going to ask you is we will split you into groups. And Celia, how many groups are we having? You are muted. So you will be in groups of
2 or 3 groups, sorry.
3 groups, okay. You will be in, or we can make it in groups of 4.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's do 4.
So you will be split in 4 groups. And you will be sent to a room with 3 strangers, and you will have to, between all of you, you will see the link that I'm going to share just now on the chat so that you can all access it. And I'll share my screen too, but I'll put it on the chat so you can start opening it. It's a Google Doc. You will all be editing the same document. And I think it's a good idea if you keep it for later, because you can use some of the descriptions for some jobs that you might need. So we are just focusing now on the description of the jobs, not on all your resume, because I assume that you know how to write your address, you know what you studied, you know how many languages you speak. The hardest part of the resume is always describing your positions. So we will divide you into rooms, and the number of your room is the number of your group. So you will see, and you have to start describing, doing at least 5 points for each job position. Think very well. Imagine that you work on that, and imagine everything good that you can put on your resume. Also, a very important part of the master list is not only to put it on your resume, but it's so you know what you did on that job. Because now you know, you did it last summer, you remember. But in 5 years or 10 years, you might not remember exactly everything that you did on that job. So that's important. And it's good also to prepare for a job interview, because there might be things that you choose to not put on your resume and the resume that you send, but you want to tell those things on the interview. So it's good to know and be prepared. So think at least 5 bullet points. Describe the 2 positions. If you don't have time, you will have, Celia, 10 or 15 minutes? 15 minutes, right?
We'll say 15, and if you are ready, yeah, we will be taking about between 10 and 15.
10, 15 minutes to write both. If you are adventurous and you think that you have extra time, you can go to other groups below, to the group 5, 6, 7, or 8, and describe those. I'll share the screen very quick, just to, I know that you are all here. Well, I see many of you here. Those that are not here are not on the, those that are not on this document, is it because you cannot open it or because you haven't opened it yet? So this is the position. As you see, you can see the groups, and we have put the name, the job, the name of the company. Some companies are real, some companies are invented, the city and the country, and the time that you did it. And this is not important, but it can help you maybe think, okay, this was a summer job, or this was probably an internship that this person did while they were at university, or things. So that helps you describe it better. And Ebony and I will be going from group to group. So if you have questions, you can ask us and we can help you and assist you.
Cristina, can I add something?
Yes, of course.
So this kind of go along with Cristina is saying. I know these are very simple kind of positions that we're mentioning, but we want you to be out of your comfort zone and think about some of the skills that they would do, or maybe some of the experiences they might have had. Is it an international environment? Like, do they have any challenges? Like, really think outside the box. So this is good practice for you when you are thinking about your resume. Don't do what everybody else does. Be different.
And also this moment now is a good networking moment. So we really recommend that you put your cameras on and you meet new people. See you in a bit.
Okay, guys. So now you're going to appear in groups. Okay? Hi, welcome back. Hi.
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 Hello, everyone.
How was it?
Cool.
Cool. Okay.
It was very nice.
Great. Then, Cristina, do you want to explain the next task?
So we are going to share a job offer with you. We will put it on top of the document that you were working on so that you can find it. And you will have a couple of minutes you will have another 10 minutes to work on your groups, to read the job description, and then based on the job descriptions that you had to create, highlight in yellow the parts that you would put on your resume if you were to apply for this position.
Okay, it's there. It's in the file.
Okay, so I can open it just to show it, but I mean, you will see it. So ideally, you read well the description and you think, okay, with what I did on my two description of these two positions, what are the things that are important for this position? And if you were to apply in your real life for this position, you will put everything that you've done. You would take everything for your master list, everything that you've done in your life, and just choose and pick the things that you think that apply to that. Because as Ebony said, many times they ask you to do a resume of 1 page or maybe 2 pages. You cannot put many things. So you really want to make sure that you are putting whatever they are asking. And sometimes even if you ask and you use words that they are using, or you paraphrase whatever they write in a different way, that's a very good way of using and doing it. So even if by looking at the job description, you want to change a little bit what you wrote on your own job description, that's good. It's just by the end of the 10 minutes, we want highlighted in yellow the parts of your job descriptions that you choose to put on your resume and why. And at the end of all this, every group has to choose one spokesperson, and this spokesperson will explain how the description of their jobs and why they chose what they chose. So you have 10 minutes. Read the job description, which is on top of the document. Do you need the link to the document again, or you will have it on the chat? It's an internship in Brussels. We chose it because it's quite general, and many different work experience can be used for this position.
Okay, it's also in the chat.
So
So I will leave you now to the rooms, okay?
Yeah.
Ciao again. Bye. Okay. So
I really enjoyed this activity, I have to say. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but
yeah, of course. Okay, Cristina, if you want to go ahead. Again.
Who is presenting for group 1?
I don't know.
So we chose the bullet points that we underlined because
I'm going to share the screen of whatever you wrote so that everyone can see it.
because it shows a lot of hard work that the position demands and passion for improvising and working under pressure while also working in a multidisciplinary team, which is also important in a company. And from the second description, we chose the report skills because you have to be very detailed orientated and select the right informations to present, which is also a requirement in the job offer.
I would think that a member of a coordinated team of 5 people from different fields could be also good for this type of environment.
Yeah, we also thought about that, but it was already in the top one, so we ended up underlining it.
Yeah, I really think that you chose very good descriptions. The idea was not to choose only one. Maybe I didn't explain it very well. Was to say, if you are applying tomorrow for this job, and this is your master list, which parts of your master list are you taking for that resume? So I think you chose very well, but you can choose more than one item per description, and if once you will do it for a real job.
Okay, thank you.
Ebony or Celia or Mirela, do you have something to add?
No,
Nope.
I'm listening.
You're doing well, Cristina. Good job.
Okay, thank you. So let's go to group 2. I'm going to scroll down so that we can see what they wrote. They were working, I didn't say it before. Group 1 was, they had to describe a job as a waitress and a job as a marketing assistant intern. Group 2, lifeguard at a camping in France and the president of the debate club. So I think Mark is presenting for this group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi. Well, so we choose to highlight 2 bullet points for the position A. Basically, it's monitor recreational areas to ensure that safety measures are met. I think it's just split. And second one, it's assess the needs and interests of individuals and groups and plan activities accordingly given the available equipment or facilities. This one, basically, we would like to highlight it for this resume because basically they are looking for someone just to do the follow-up or to do the design and execution for new projects proposals. So this is also quite related to project management, saying that you have some laws that you need to enforce, you have some regulations that you need to meet. So of course, if they are looking someone to do their business development, we thought that this is something which is worth mentioning. And that is also quite in line what we highlighted on description B, where we are, it was a position of the president of the debate club at a university. So we also highlighted somehow the last 2 bullet points, which is consult with students to determine objectives, requirements, and events, or confer with department heads to discuss different topics as purchasing, advertising, or whatever. So at the end, what we want to show with those is that we are like having many different files, and we know how to evaluate or to assess different files that apply for a specific project. So we show how we are concise or how we can work in an organized way of working, let's say. Also, since there is mention on the offer that they are looking for someone which is having excellent communication skill and so on, we also thought that it was mentioned to highlight those ones, the 2 ones. And also, since they are looking someone to write down and to, I'm just looking at the offer 1 second. They are someone which is good at technical writing. We also highlighted the first one where we were working as a report preparator for the association or the debate club.
No, I think you chose good ones, and in this particular, the descriptions of the positions were very well done, as the first group too. And I liked how you highlighted and how I think for this particular position, the president of the debate club was quite straightforward, and it was easy to use almost everything for that. But I saw how you adapted some of the things in particular to the job offer because I was on your group, so that was a good strategy too, because you have your database, but you can tweak it a little bit if you need to for the different jobs. So that's good. So group number 3, Who is presenting?
It's me.
Okay, Cheryl?
Yes. Yeah. So we chose yes. For the first job, for the first position, the one of English and math tutor, we chose creative interactive exercises to help children develop their skills because they were asking for some creativity. So we thought this was a good example of showing creativity, and also organized individual activities and games for children with special needs because it shows hard work and being detail oriented. Mm-hmm. And then for the second position, which was intern in supply chain and logistics, we chose carried out individual projects and responsibility for writing final group meetings and reports because they were asking for technical writing and concise technical data visualization. So we thought these were good examples to use.
Mm-hmm. I would say even the work in a team of 8 people can be good because it shows that you work on teams. I know that you that's something that it's required for any job, that you know how to work alone and you know how to work on teams. But if you have experience that you can show that if you would have other jobs, because if you are applying to this position and you only have these 2 jobs, on the first one you were working mainly alone with kids, but you are the one that needs to be organizing everything and you are responsible for everything. So it's good to add that you have some part of work experience where you work with groups. So I would have had like that one too, but I think it's a good idea. So now I don't know if you have questions. Let me stop sharing screen. I don't know if you have questions for this part. If not, we are almost closing up, and Celia needs to tell you something, and then Ebony and I will say goodbye. But if you have some questions of this part of the activity or anything that we've done so far, this is the time. It's nice to see all your faces now.
Yeah, the moment is now. If you have any questions, and if not, if you think about something later, you can just contact us, and we will be more than happy to answer the questions. Okay, so well, I hope. Thank you, Ebony, Cristina. Thank you, all of you. I hope you have enjoyed. Of course.
Thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed, you have learned, and I want you, before leaving, to announce we launched, let me share my screen now. We launched a few weeks ago. This one is not, sorry. Which one are you seeing? The poster?
No,
it's just sharing. It says that you have started sharing, but we cannot see anything.
Okay. So, well, basically we launched a few weeks ago, I will let you know, a career counseling project where we are, as I mentioned at the beginning, doing webinars related to employability and some other activities as far as we can with this unusual situation. Plus, we are launching a service, which is the CV check. We launched it 1 month ago. It's been very interesting, and many people have already used this service. Basically, it's our professionals have a close look to your CV, and you receive in a one-to-one session personalized feedback and recommendations based on your profile and on your experiences. So this will be like a very first step, the job master list, and the CV check will be like the end. Like, this is what I have, I need to improve it, and I need help, and personalized feedback. So for EucA members, it's free. And for the non-EucA members, we usually charge a tax. It's not very high, but it's a tax. But as a gratitude gift, we will give away one free CV check to the first one who write a message to this. I shared in the chat to that. Oh, sorry to everyone. To this email address. So that's it. Thank you very much. Now I give the floor to Ebony and Cristina, and thank you. It's been very nice to see you all.
Thank you again. And also use the websites that I mentioned because they are extremely helpful. And I know there's so many other websites that come along with that, and use that. It's a great helpful tool. And I hope this was helpful and inspiring to add more to your list. And don't take for granted what you did isn't important, because it is. Everything that you do is important.
I wanted to say thank you for coming, and I wanted to say this. I don't know if we were able to transmit to you what we wanted to give you, and if you learned everything that we wanted, but the most important thing is that you keep working on this, on your database or your master list CV, that you have it forever. You start thinking now. If you have 10 minutes every day, just write anything that you've done through your life and keep adding. And whenever you do something else, just keep adding it. And don't worry, don't think that things that you've done, that you don't have enough experience, that the things that you did are not valuable, because of course they are. You have many things that someone will value. So, and there will be a company that will value whatever you think and you can offer. And we all had to look for the first job. And, I'm here. I thought that I was not going to make it. And I'm 32. I've had several jobs already. So it's going to happen. I don't know don't worry, it will happen. And just keep looking and think that there are many places that we will appreciate the experience that you have. So that was something that I wanted to say, because I remember being 22 or 23 and thinking that I didn't have anything to offer. And sometimes I think about that too, but it's not going to ever go away, but just do it. And if you have, I hope you enjoy it. And you can email Ebony or I, maybe. Celia, will you share our contact details?
Yes. So, well, you finish and I do.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you on the next event.
Well, thank you.